Hello, everyone. Um, First, I'd like to thank everyone who's continuing to support me. I appreciate it. I'm trying to put at least up one video up a week, if not more. Um, so I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. So today, I did some work already, and they kind of changed up speeds a little bit on what they wanted to work on with us. And what I was pulled to is the solar plex, the chakra. The solar plex is connected to your gut, your your gut instinct, your gut feeling, but most importantly, it's connected to empathic abilities. And as a medium, an energy healer, I'm very empathic. I have been my whole life. And most people connected to this work are empathic at some level, some more intensely than others. But me, for example, uh, when I would go to big public areas when I was younger, especially the mall, um, I would pick up everyone's emotions and feelings, and anyone I was ever close to, if I was sitting next to them, I could feel how they felt. I could feel physical issues on their body. Um, so I'm very sensitive in terms of that. Uh, and it took me a long time to kind of understand what was going on, as well as how to um, limit what you picked up and be in more control of it. Um, from your mind's aspect. For a while, I didn't even know what was going on. I would just get a sense of anxiety for no reason, or um, I would just pick up emotions and think they were mine until I really understood what was going on. So they also gave me a technique to kind of condition yourself. There's a lot of different techniques. A medium mentor of mine taught me just to kind of take a deep breath. Really, he told me to take a deep breath, but the focus was always on when you're on and when you're off. So if you're in the public or you're out and about and you're not really working, he always taught me to kind of shut down, um, unless there was something that had to be taken care of. When you were walking around, interacting with different people, especially public, you would kind of shut down. He always used the imagery of a zipper, kind of when you're, say, in your space, doing your own thing, meditating, working with a client, you kind of pull the zipper down and you open up. And the opposite for when you go out in public is you pull a zipper up and kind of seal yourself off. There's tons of imagery. But I liked focusing on the actual chakra itself, which is your solar plex. And what my guides taught me was to kind of close your eyes before you go into interacting. And they taught me to picture a rose. So when you're open, you kind of visualize the petals kind of opening up and like a bloomed rose. And you're allowed to open up and feel and kind of take it in different layers. And then when you want to close down, you picture closed petals. So if you want right now, you can just kind of take a deep breath in and visualize the rose petals opening up. And feel like what it is to be open, specifically with the solar plex. Now, take a deep breath in and visualize your solar plexus shutting like a rose, like closing of the rose petals. And feel what it's like to be shut in the solar plexus. And when I say shut, I mean more in the protective theme, not to be shut down totally, but to just kind of have a little bit of a layer, a barrier. And you should be able to feel the difference between the two. So, with all that being said, if you're not aware of being empathic, you know, sometimes if you feel like you're having emotional issues or upheavals that you don't seem to really connect with, you should check in with yourself and kind of just get a sense of where this emotion's coming from, why you're feeling a certain way. And the more you're aware of yourself and your own emotions and what motivates you and what you feel, and it doesn't have to be a judgment, it just is being aware of what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Because you'll tend to see that sometimes you're feeling things that don't really connect to you. And you might be more empathic than you're aware of. And really, all you can do is be aware of this. It doesn't necessarily go away, but you can learn to kind of, by being aware of it, you can kind of come to terms with it, and it doesn't have to affect you as strong as it maybe has been. Because there was times in my life where I would leave stores because I couldn't be there. I was just picking up too much of other people's stuff. And especially with partners and relationships, you can really almost find yourself spiraling. Because if you're having an issue with a partner or a friend, you can pick up on the energy that you're kind of putting out there too. So it could kind of spiral to more intensity than it has to be. And with that being said, you don't also want to put a crutch on it as like if I'm angry or I'm sad, it's somebody else's stuff. Because that's where the whole awareness thing comes into play. You have to be aware of both sides and what's really going on with you. So with all that being said, I want to journey to the solar plexus. And I want you to kind of get some information from your solar plex, what goes on, what you connect to, where you may have issues with your solar plexus. And it can always be worked on. Over the time, I've always worked with my guides in terms of cutting things off or clearing what's affecting my solar plex, or just being, you know, more in control of what's coming through you. So sometimes I did a cord cutting video recently, and this really connects to your solar plex too, because when you're feeling all these different things, it's like cords everywhere. You're picking up this emotion. So we're going to journey with the intention of connecting to our solar plexus to see where we're picking energy up from our solar plex, what we're feeling, how we can help it. I also like to sometimes work with my warrior guide who kind of protects us, to kind of see how we could put a filter that we can still get information and not have it affect us so much. All right, so we're going to do a journey to the upper realm to connect to the energy of our solar plexus and see what's going on and how we're being affected, and maybe who's affecting or what affects us, and how we could better work with it. And maybe our warrior guide will show up too. So on 3, it will be our intention to do what I just said, connect to our solar plexus. On 3, we take a deep breath and close our eyes. 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath. Check in with yourself. Check in with your solar plex. Hopefully you felt a shift. Just to share what a sense of what I got for myself was that I tend to project my energy out of my solar plex, because the solar plex tends to do with the will of somebody. So I try to, when I do energetic work, I try to project energy out there, and I tend to push it through my solar plex. Also, the message I got was there's a strong connection between feeling and as well as what you get back and your solar plex chakra and your heart chakra. Because if you're only putting love out there, you'll tend to feel more love and the highest energy. I definitely have to admit the times when I was feeling the anxiety and other stuff is when I was first going through a lot of these spiritual awakening or whatever you want to call it. So I was kind of anxious and attracting more anxious feelings. So it's kind of like if you're putting the love out there, you'll feel love back. So hopefully you learn some stuff about your solar plexus as well as your empathic abilities. If you have any other questions or anything comes up for you that you want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me. See you soon. Thanks again.